Grand day, all grand day, and welcome to the Daily Huddle. I am Chase Steele Gray. So happy to be here with all of you. We have an amazing little program for you today. And before we go forward, I always like to give a little joke or a little quote or something. And today, in honor of our Reiki theme, I have a little short joke that I prepared for you. So a guy is referred to a massage therapist, but his friend mistakenly sent him to a Reiki master. So he got there and he laid on the table and everything was going great. And he was so happy with everything. And at the end, he said, "Oh my goodness, this is the best massage I ever had. Every part of my body that you went to was so amazing. I loved it." And the Reiki master said, "I'm glad you were happy. It's funny. I never touched you." Roll that tape.
You're done downstairs? No.
I love it.
He didn't. What happened? Oh, Gio, you have me on my toes, brother. Oh, yeah. Here we are once again, the Daily Huddle. Thank you all for being here with us today. It's always a pleasure to see all your smiling faces on or off camera. If you're here, we're so happy that you're here. Thank you so much. My name is Chase Steele Gray. Gio's with me today, the G-Man. And before we get into this wonderful conversation, I want to see who we have on the radar today, what kind of people we have in our room. We'd like to start with, Miss Carmen. Are you there?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Carmen. How are you today?
I'm here now, so good, so happy.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for joining us. Fareed.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Fareed. Where are you and what are you grateful for today?
Well, let's see. I am here today. I am here on the Daily Huddle. And what I'm
Yes.
grateful for today is that I'm grateful for the rain today.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like it. That's Fareed. Thank you so much for joining us. And lastly, Rashida. Who will you hug today?
Hey, good morning, my daily family. Oh my goodness, who I'm going to hug today? I'm
That's
going
right.
to hug myself and
Nice.
also my favorite tree that I have in the backyard. I just love hugging my tree.
Oh, tree hugging. That's the thing, Rashida. You know that. I love the tree hugging. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. So today is a special day because we're going to talk about a topic that I don't know, maybe certain people don't know about. I don't know. I think I still kind of like a undercurrent in topics in most circles. But I want to introduce our guest today. And before I do, I want to give you a little bit of background about her. Her name is Holly Murphy. She's been in private practice since 1997, trained as a Usui, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Tibetan Reiki master. She has 26 years of experience within integrative healing practices and rehabilitation environments. Her clientele has included professional athletes, first responders, cancer survivors. She's been called bedside to St. Joseph's Children's Hospital, Rancho, Los Amigos, and Cedars, Sinai in Los Angeles. She also has volunteer time in Hospice in Denver to assist those during transition, combining science of mind-body medicine studies, shamanism, and psychic intuition. Her Reiki practice guides and supports clients to take an active role in their healing process. So beautiful, so beautiful. Please welcome to the Daily Huddle for the first time, definitely not to last, Miss Holly Murphy.
Good morning.
Holly Murphy, all the way from Colorado.
Yes.
Colorado. So this question, what is Reiki and how can it benefit me now? I'll say that afterwards, but how would you unpack that particular question and what does that mean to you?
Reiki is a powerful but very gentle, complementary alternative medicine or modality.
Right.
And I have found that over my years of practice that it awakens your innate ability to heal yourself.
I like that. I like that a lot. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Reiki is a hybrid of two words or two concepts?
Correct. I'm impressed. Rei means universal and Ki means energy. So it's universal energy that's available to everybody. And as a Reiki practitioner, I'm just the conduit for the energy. And you go through a sacred process of attunement, it's called, where you are given the gift of being able to channel chi.
I've always found this very fascinating. Just to give you guys some background, Holly and I have been friends how many years? 10, 15? I don't know. I lost count.
At least.
Right.
Yeah.
We met online through mutual friends, and we've never, ever, ever actually met in person. I've only known her from, what did that start? MySpace, I think.
Yes.
Crazy, crazy. All these like-minded people that were all together in this area, and we all connected. And Holly and I have been friends ever since then. Never saw each other in person once yet. So I appreciate you and all your knowledge, and your friendship over the years has been amazing. So as far as Reiki is concerned, and the question of how can it benefit people now, how would you take somebody from, let's say, a traditional yoga practice or something they were doing right now and transition them over to Reiki, or add the Reiki on top of the yoga? Is that something that is advantageous, or would you say someone should concentrate on Reiki for a little while and see what comes from that?
Great question. Actually, to do the two together, that's why it's called a complementary modality. Using Reiki combined with allopathic medicine and any other alternative therapy can provide really powerful results. So because it works on the parasympathetic system, it induces, you know what the parasympathetic system is? It's the rest and digest.
Correct.
And,
Yes.
and when somebody starts the actual Reiki session, your brain waves slow down into an alpha state, and it's a really low brainwave state. And it's in that healing state that your body just is given the space to literally allow itself to start the healing process. Shuts down the active mind, the busy mind. And so using it along with practices like yoga, I have yoga and people who are in the medical business who'll come for sessions just to for stress relief, because originally Reiki was used for stress, and it's Reiki is over 100 years old now.
Wow.
And well, it's been in use for about 101 years now, and
I didn't know that.
they say apparently there are records that there were other therapies that were similar to Reiki that were practiced in Tibet. And it's so, it has a Buddhist
foundation, right?
Exactly to it.
You know, I can't believe I've never asked you this, but how did you arrive at this Reiki journey? Was it performed on you? And then you were like, whoa, this is magical. Or did you read about it? Like, what was the calling that moved you in that direction? I don't know why I don't know this. It's interesting.
Oh, I was actually given a Reiki session, and I was in South Africa, and a family member of mine is a Reiki master, and I just wanted to experience what it felt like. And I was quite blown away by how my body came into a complete restful state. And when I got up, I felt like I had slept for 3 hours. Wow. And so I became very interested in how it worked and why I was able to drop into such a deep state that was even more restful than sleep. So it took about 3 years before I decided that I actually wanted to follow the path. And I went back to South Africa and I trained in all the levels. So yeah, that's how it came about. And I had become tired of working in the corporate world. So yes.
Interesting. That description of how you got into it makes me think about different people's stories as yoga. I did Bikram yoga for a long time, and I did Kundalini and so on and so forth. The actual training for the Reiki, is it similar to the yoga, like the 200-hour training or the 500-hour training? Is it something like that?
In order to get from level 1 to the master teacher level, which allows you to teach people Reiki, it takes approximately 3 years.
Wow.
And but it's the study isn't long. But 3 years make it sounds like, oh my God, I have to study for 3 years. The actual level 1 training takes place over 2 or 3 days. And but you have to wait in between the levels for that to integrate and for you to practice before you move to each level. So there are 4 levels in Reiki, 1 to the advanced Reiki training and then the master teacher. So it's recommended that you have at least about a year in between, level 3 and level 4.
So this is quite a commitment, and it should be for such a delicate practice. Also, this is something I think about all the time when I think about coming from the perspective of a massage therapist, where there's actually hands-on, and in Reiki you don't actually touch the person, correct? Or you minimally can touch them. Let's say
you can actually have your hands in static positions, very on the body, or above. And actually there are several states in the US where you have to have a special license in order to touch the body.
That's what I was thinking about,
Yeah, in Colorado you don't have to. So in all cases where, let's say a person has extreme severe injury, which I have treated several people with head injuries and burn victims, where you don't actually want to touch the person. It's done above the body. Yeah. So
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. So it's a really, it's a practice that people can really feel safe receiving, because you receive the session fully clothed, and you can receive it sitting up or on a massage table. That's the traditional way of doing it, but there's absolutely no massage involved.
That's why I said that joke that I said earlier.
Yes.
But isn't it also true that you can have a Reiki session over the phone? See, that's the part that fascinates me. And it fascinates me not because I don't think it's possible, because I believe in telepathic signals, and I believe in concentrating on someone and sending them healing powers and so forth. That Reiki thing, something about that's so fascinating to me that you could, as a matter of fact, I would like to have a session with you over the waves, because I've always wanted to experience that. So we'll talk about that. But do you sometimes have someone in front of you that when you're finished with them, you need something, like you take in so much energy from them that you feel like drained? So
I'm not actually taking energy from the person.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Right. I'm the conduit for the chi. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? Science does not dispute that energy exists. So when you do a long distance session, there is no limit to time or space, because it's energy. And Reiki is completely based on intention, even though it's also it's concentrated with the use of symbols. There are Japanese kanji, they call them.
Yeah, I love them. I saw them. Yeah.
Right, and there are specific symbols, or there's one that's specifically used to give distance Reiki, and it's the intention in that frequency of that symbol that creates that connection between you and the person receiving it at a distance.
That's really interesting. And I want to ask you on top of that, and let me see how you answer this. I just told you that I have successfully sent telepathic energy to someone. Like they felt it and said, oh my gosh, I felt you. What would be the difference in the common everyday person sitting with intentionality, closing their eyes and sending that, and what you do? Is there a difference in that?
There is actually. So what makes it different is, in order to be able to be the conduit for chi, you have to receive the initiation attunement from a Reiki master. And in that process, really they are Sanskrit symbols.
Right.
Are downloaded into your system when you receive the attunement, and it opens up your ability to channel chi. Wow.
Okay. See, that changed it for me. What you just said right there, that changed it for me, because I was of the mind that, and I wasn't trying to belittle or downgrade the craft. I just always find it fascinating how different ways we can communicate, especially with Reiki. And when you said that totally cleared it up for me. That really cleared it up.
It's a great question, because the efficacy of Reiki has always been hard to evaluate.
Definitely.
Because it is in the realm of energy. And a lot of holistic practices that are in the realm of energy tend to not be viewed as something that can be trusted, right? Because a lot of data it's very difficult to collect data on a large scale. Double-blind studies have been performed for Reiki, and there are several organizations that have actually tried to do as much research based on the amount of funding that they've been given. But no funding is really put towards studying and finding out and collecting data about the efficacy of energy therapies, because the groups are too small. And with Reiki, what I have found, it has to be done on a consistent basis. Now, I have had instances where I've been in the hospital with someone who's had incredibly devastating physical trauma, and it's after 1 or 2 sessions, their ability to recover, well, the amount of time that it's taken to recover has actually been reduced. Instead of them being in hospital for 3 weeks, I've witnessed people coming out of hospital after a week.
It's fascinating. That's why I think this is so fascinating, because I've heard about that.
I mean, there's so many benefits to receiving Reiki. You don't actually have to have anything wrong with you in order for Reiki to be beneficial. And you don't have to actually believe in it for it to be beneficial. Yes, if you're more open, obviously you're going to invite more of an effect. But I have done Reiki on non-believers, and they've walked out surprised and amazed that they actually felt some shift. And
I love that. I love things that you don't have to believe in, that show you that they are real. It's some of my favorite things in life. Lastly, before we open up for questions, you are administering this amazing practice. Do you have in your general vicinity someone that does Reiki on you?
Yes, in fact, well, 2 things. So one of the many unique qualities of Reiki, I can treat myself.
I was going to ask you that.
Right.
I think she's going to say it soon. Go ahead.
Yes, and a good Reiki practitioner will treat themselves every day. And, I do miss a couple of days here and there, but for the most part, I treat myself every night. And after every session, I have a very purposeful cleansing, a 2-minute process that I go through to cleanse myself of the energies that were present in the room when I was treating the patient. So
Love that. I love that you can treat yourself. I was literally going to say that in a couple seconds. So let's open up for some questions right now. Let's get Sorrel. Come on in, my brother.
Good morning again, Holly.
Good morning.
I'm interested in your perspective on the second part of the question, which is how can Reiki benefit me now? And I'm not a skeptic or an agnostic. I'm just asking the question, and I have a part 2 after that. So I think for you, going into a field like that, where there are many skeptics and non-believers,
Yes.
has to come from a place inside of you that's grounded in a commitment for humanity. And that what you know the benefits are go beyond people agreeing or even believing. So what is that commitment to benefiting humanity and the benefits you know that people get from your practicing with them? How can we benefit now, in your own words?
Right now, the planet, I feel, has gone through and is still going through an amazing upheaval and changing, and things are moving so quickly, which in turn is affecting everybody on not only a physical level, but a mental and emotional level. So if you are feeling overwhelmed in life, Reiki can benefit you tremendously because it allows you to completely retreat from everything in the world for that hour. It can benefit you if you are suffering with acute and chronic illness. And am I answering the question?
Yes. Please keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. It can also promote, right in this moment, if you were to walk into my practice and you were struggling with something emotionally, it can promote and encourage the release of suppressed emotions. And I take my Reiki practice a little bit further, where I have movement and vocalization in the process to remove blocked emotions and anger and frustration. And it's not uncommon that I have people vocalizing in a really strong way, like screaming out, I'm unhappy, or I have to move this out of my system, or I have people sobbing, I have other people laughing, and to see the ridiculousness of things. So I hope is that helpful.
Yeah, thank you for that. And one last thing, does it depend on your clients to reach a state where Reiki actually makes a difference for them? You spoke of earlier of people releasing whatever there is, and people reaching a state of relaxation that, in your case, gives you the sense that maybe you've slept 9 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you relying on the client to bring anything to the party, or is it all about the Reiki masters?
They're actually, it's fantastic question. All I ask when a client comes in is to come in with an open mind and an open heart to see what is possible. What is possible in this session for us to work through, and what can we arrive at to to get you shifted into a place where you feel empowered, where you feel revitalized. I fill my bank account, my physical, energetic bank account, by self-treatment. Also, the students that I teach, they will practice on me too. So I receive from them too.
That's
Thank you.
excellent. We have very little time left, so I'm going to pick some people. If we could be as short as possible, just want to make everyone have some time. Molly.
Morning, Holly.
Good morning.
So I was wondering, how soon after your injury do you have to experience treatment? Because my car wreck was 15 years ago, and I'm kind of skeptical that anything will work.
Sure. My recommendation is immediately. So I've been called bedside during surgery. I don't send Reiki during surgery, but as soon as they come out, I'm bedside. The sooner, the better, because Reiki has been found to repair nerves and ligaments, which is really the parts of the body that take the longest to heal. When it comes to brain injury, I would say a continuous stream of treatments as soon as possible, as often as possible. It's a common question when people leave my practice: how often should I come for Reiki? And it's such a difficult thing to determine because everybody's different. But I say, you will know when you're ready for your next session. But I do make recommendations to people who've had severe injury to, and I will guide that and say, perhaps it's better if you come for the first week of your injury. I want to see you every day.
Not for me.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay,
Excellent.
thanks.
Thanks,
Okay.
Molly.
Can I just add to that? Because thank you so much for that question. Because now in the later stages of injury, you can still receive healing on a level that could help you maybe reduce current systems, current issues that you're still experiencing.
Okay.
So,
Well, thank you.
you're welcome.
I think it's excellent. Maybe you guys can connect. That would be amazing. Thank you so much, Molly. Stan.
So, Molly, I just want to thank you Holly, I just want to thank you so much for that information, because I've always wondered exactly what Reiki is. Although I've had the opportunity to ask Mastermind Rashida Wright, who was on this call, because she also is a Reiki practitioner, and I'm not sure if she teaches it yet, but she's definitely a practitioner. And I've had the opportunity to ask her that for a long time, and I never asked her specifically what it is. But now I know it's universal energy. Thank you so much for that, and that tells me a lot just by, and to be used for healing, or to help the body heal itself. So I really appreciate just that definition. Right quickly, I want everybody to check the chat room. Please, everyone that can, check the chat room. So tomorrow night you can see Mastermind, you can see Sorrel Catan, the creator, he and G.O. being the creators of this platform, are going to be on the platform for my organization.
Excellent.
Tomorrow night. And it would be nice for you to show up tomorrow night, support him on that. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you. Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Armin. Up, you're muted.
Oh.
Hey.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that beautiful topic, because there is so much healing on it. And I'm 35 because I have a friend that she was like for 3 days with a terrible headache. And I have a friend that she does Reiki, and she's a teacher. And it's a very spiritual lady. I think that comes from the spirit. That's why it's cured, because it's straight from the Lord for me.
Right.
The way that my friend do is just more spiritual than nothing. And when you pray and you pray with faith, you get cured. That's it.
I agree
you.
100%.
Excellent. Thank you, Carmen. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So, this is such a great talk. It's another one of those days where we wanted to go an hour. I always want stuff to go an hour. I'm like, let's go an hour.
I know,
Anyway.
let's go an hour.
Maybe one day we'll have 2 or 2 days in a month where we have an hour session. We'll see if we can do that. So before we wrap up, would you like to say anything in closing?
Yes, I would like to say that Reiki is worth giving a try. And even if it doesn't resonate with you when you try it the first time, it's really worth seeing what it has to offer, because it's a very powerful yet gentle modality.
Excellent. Excellent. This was really fun. You know how much I love talking to you, but man, now that you're here on this platform, we have to create another couple times for you to come back and do a little bit more in depth or talk about some things that you've done recently. I think it would be really, really great, advantageous for everyone to hear it in motion. So thank you so much for saying yes. I appreciate you so much. And before we leave, we always end with the tenets, our tenets of the Daily Huddle. Somebody, if they could mute themselves, I'm hearing some background noise. I don't know where it's coming from, but let me see. So before we leave, we like to go over the tenets, and the tenets are live to the fullest, right? Love out loud more than you normally do. Laugh, have more fun. My goodness gracious. Stress less. Stressing less is a big one. We all know that. Sleep, hopefully 5 to 8 hours if you can. I think it's so advantageous. Also, eat mostly plant-based. This is a really big one, right? For a lot of people, you know, right, Carmen? You know.
Yes.
And that, to me, I do it all the time. I'm almost 100% plant-based. And of course, never lastly, but very importantly, please check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check in with yourself. Make sure you're doing okay before you slide down that slippery slope into disaster. Thank you so much for joining us today. I greatly appreciate my guest, Holly Murphy. I love you so much. Thank you so much. And everyone, please go into your day with intention and love. We need it. Be
Thank
well.
you.
One love, guys. One love.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you so much, Chase.
One love.
Thank you, family. One love.